Never forget, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 2 rights did make an airplane. Hey folks, welcome to This Week in History. Let's get this puppy going. On July 19th in 64, the Great Fire of Rome began, burning for 6 days before mostly being put out, but it restarted and continued for 3 more days. And in those 9 days of fun and fire, about 2/3 of the city was destroyed. Nero, who was the emperor at the time, used the Christians as a scapegoat and took the opportunity to persecute them. Though there's also quite a few people that believe Nero had the fire set in order to clear room for his new palace to be built. I guess we'll never know. In 1817, the Schaefer Affair ended as George Anton Schaefer failed to conquer the Kingdom of Hawaii on behalf of the Russian-American Company, which was a company run by the Russian Empire to further their holdings in America. They chose to focus on Alaska instead. On July 21st in 356 BC, the Temple of Artemis, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, was burned down by an arsonist named HEROSTRATUS, who I covered in my eponymous names at terms video. Check out that eye up there. Basically, HEROSTRATUS destroyed a wonder of the world so that he would forever be known as the guy that destroyed a wonder of the world, giving birth to the term herostratic fame. His punishment, of course, was death, and that his name be stricken from the record. A single account survived to give us his name. On July 22nd in 1342, the St. Mary Magdalene's Day flood, named after it having occurred on St. Mary Magdalene's Day. Oh, by the way, it's St. Mary Magdalene's Day, so happy St. Mary Magdalene's Day, took place in Central Europe, becoming the worst flood to ever hit that region. To give you an idea, it displaced over 13 billion tons, that's metric tons, of sediment, an amount that under normal conditions would take about 2,000 years. So yeah, that's a lot of water. And that brings us to this week's installment of Wow, so that's a thing that exists.
First, I must have a subject from the audience. Ah, come right up, my good man. Now, into the basket. Penny, up, up. Usher, give this gentleman his money back.
Okay, at least that one was kind of funny. On July 23rd in 1862, Henry Halleck took command of the Union Army during the Civil War. He would be replaced about a year and a half later by Ulysses S. Grant. And speaking of President Grant, in 1885, Grant died of throat cancer at the age of 63. On July 24th of 1567, Mary, Queen of Scots, was forced to abdicate her throne. Her 1-year-old son took over due to falling out of favor with the public as well as, more importantly, the nobles and clergy. It had a lot to do with her possibly murdering her husband, or at least having something to do with his murder, then marrying a divorced lord that a lot of the people didn't like. Ultimately, she would end up being executed 20 years later, the executioner taking 3 tries to finish the deed, so I guess that's a hell of a way to go out. In 1847, Richard March Hoe patented his rotary type printing press, revolutionizing the newspaper printing industry. So remember, when you think of Stop the Presses, you should think of Dick Hoe. On July 25th in 306, Constantine I, or Constantine the Great, or just Constantine, was declared Emperor of Rome by his troops. He would end up being rather important to world history from that point on. In 1722, Dummer's War began, fought between English colonists and the Wabanaki Confederation along the New England-New France border. It lasted 3.5 years, and New England was able to gain some territory in modern-day Maine. Finally, in birthdays this week, we've got flight pioneer Amelia Earhart in 1897, politician, leader, and the man behind much of South America gaining independence, Simon Bolivar, in 1783, and Alexander the Great, I'm pretty sure everybody knows who he is, was born this week in 356 BC. And it looks like that's just gonna about do it for this week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week, right here, same squirrel time, same squirrel channel. Be good to each other, be good to yourselves, and don't do anything I wouldn't do, but if you do, name it after me.